Thank you for taking the time to review VCarve Pro. In this tutorial, we're going to show you how quickly and easily the software will convert a two-dimensional graphic such as this pub sign or restaurant sign into a 3D toolpath that can be VCarved or engraved on a CNC machine. The software converts two-dimensional vector geometry into three-dimensional CNC toolpaths. We see here in the three-dimensional view the VCarved or 3D engraved result. We close this file, so file close. We're going to open a DXF file, so file open. Here we have the Bull's Head DXF file. This is in the samples folder installed with the trial version. Open the DXF file. Specify the size of the material that we're going to work with. So we'll have a piece of material 12 inches by 4.5 inches by half an inch thick. We want the origin to be in the bottom left hand corner with no offset, and we want the geometry to be in the center of the material. The white area represents our 12 inches by 4.5 inch piece of material. The Z0 origin is on the surface of the material, so you would set your cutter just touching the surface of the material and set this to be Z0. We click OK. You'll see now that the geometry or the DXF file is displayed in the two-dimensional view. Down the left hand side of the interface we have the drawing tools, or what we refer to as the drawing tab. Here we can open files, we can import files, import image files for tracing. We also have options for zooming and working around in the two-dimensional view. So I can say zoom to a box, we can zoom, click left mouse button, drag and release to zoom into the letter B. We have some tools here for drawing new shapes, so circles, ovals, rectangles, etc. We can add text, we can edit the text, edit text onto a curve. We have multi-copy production plates, vector tracing. Underneath this we have the option to edit vectors or to edit geometry. Here we can select use the selection tool, so I can select the letter B. We can then say, okay, we wish to node edit this, so look at the nodes, and we can pull the shape around, so we could change the shape and then go to machining if we wish. There's also edit undo, so edit undo will put the shape back. Edit redo, edit undo. Go back to the selection tool. There's also tools here for sizing, moving, rotating, mirroring, etc. There's options for offsetting the geometry, welding shapes together, joining shapes manually, and at the bottom of the interface we have alignment tools, so aligning a design in the middle of the material and aligning vectors or parts of a design relative to each other. In the bottom half of the window we have what we call layer control. This is a more advanced feature that allows designs to be organized, ready for machining. If we look back at our design in the two-dimensional view, I'm going to say zoom to fit, so this is zoomed out. Let's add some text into this area. So I'm going to use the text tool, draw text, click where we want the text to go. This picks up the X and the Y coordinates for the middle of the text. Say we wish to add the word reception. Select the font that we wish to use. Let's say we're going to engrave the word or carve the word reception using an Arial font. Let's say we wish it to be bold, 0.3 of an inch high, and apply. Close the form. We can zoom in with a middle mouse button on a roller mouse, or we can use the zoom to an area. Now we have the word reception. Again, we can zoom out to the extents, so zoom to fit, or pressing the letter F on the keyboard zooms to the extents of the design. When we're happy with the two-dimensional design and we wish to start calculating toolpaths, we click on this icon here, which swaps from the design or drawing tab on the left to the Toolpath tab on the right hand side of the interface. This can be opened or closed by clicking in the top right hand corner. With the Toolpath tab on the right open, we can now check the material size and settings. So click on this icon. This tells us we're using a piece of material 1/2 inch thick. Z0 is on the surface. We can specify a clearance gap. This is the height above the material the cutter can move at rapid feed rate. Let's make this 0.1 of an inch. And a home position to which the cutter will move to after cutting. Click OK. Next, we're going to calculate the VCarving or 3D Engrave toolpath. So this is the second icon in. Open the form. Let's click and drag. So I'm clicking with the left mouse button, holding and dragging to include the whole design. So you'll see the dotted purple lines indicate the selected geometry. I'm going to select a cutter. So from the tool database, I'm going to select a 90-degree cutter, which is 1/2 inch diameter. See, we have a 1/2 inch diameter, 90-degree included angle. We can set up the cutting parameters, so how deep we wish this cutter to go, whether we wish to use multiple passes or single passes, how fast we want the RPM to run, and the cutting feed rates. These parameters would be specified dependent on the materials you're cutting and the type of machine you have. We click OK to accept this tool. I'm going to engrave or VCarve without a flat depth. We say calculate. The software now calculates the 3-dimensional toolpath, opens our 3-dimensional view. I can twiddle this using the left hand mouse button, so click and rotate. If I hold the right hand mouse button down, I can push and pull to zoom in or out. The preview form has automatically opened. The toolpath is selected. I can say preview this toolpath. This shows us what this cutter will do when we run the toolpath on our CNC machine. With the 3D preview in the 3-dimensional view, I can pan it by holding left and right mouse buttons together and then push with the right mouse button to zoom in. We can change the color fill. Let's say we wish to preview this as a blue fill color. We can twiddle with the left mouse button. We can change the material type. So we can change it to be a different material. We can save this, so we could save the 3-dimensional image for emailing to a customer or adding to a website or including in a brochure. Once we're happy with the 3-dimensional preview, click close. We can now estimate the cutting time. So this tells us approximately how long it will take to machine this part. Click the close button. We can now save the toolpath. So click save. Select the post processor for the machine that we're working with. Click the save button. Give the toolpath a name, and this is now ready for opening in your CNC control software. If we close the save toolpath form, we can just summarize what we've been looking at. If we swap back, so click on this icon here, swap to the drawing tab, so we swap to the drawing tools on the left. Click to open the 2-dimensional view. You'll see here we can zoom in. So we had our original 2-dimensional design that was opened. We could have also drawn this in VCarve Pro. We've added some text. Once we were happy with the size and the position of the design, we swapped from the 2-dimensional drawing tab to the toolpath tab on the right hand side of the interface. We added a VCarving or 3D Engrave toolpath by clicking on the icon. We can edit the existing toolpath by double clicking on this file name or clicking the edit toolpath icon. This opens the form, so we could edit the settings here. We could say, okay, we wish the machine to run slower, 50 inches a minute. Click OK and calculate. The software has now given us a new toolpath. We looked at the preview options, so I can reset the preview. We can zoom in. you'll see the blue toolpath lines. We can select the fill color. So we wish to use a dark red, preview the toolpath, and this shows us how the cutter will run on the CNC machine. Once we were happy with the toolpath, we close the form and we can save the toolpath as a CNC file by selecting the appropriate post-processor for our machine and then running the toolpath on the CNC machine. Thank you for watching the tutorial.